Well, we know you can come back to names too. Let's check in with your pro picks, your best ideas. ProPicks is brought to you by ATB Financial. With $62 billion in assets, ATB Financial is powering possibilities for more than 820,000 financial services clients in Alberta and beyond. ATB's capital markets arm is a full-service investment dealer that offers investment and corporate banking, sales and trading, institutional research, and risk management. Visit atb.com/inthemoney for more information. We've already talked about Open and BETR. You're sticking with those, right. Obviously. Yep. Open price target is $82 a share. Did you give me a BETR price target? Do you have?
Well, Open, now that I know Open more, now that Keith Raboy is back on the board, it's actually like a much higher target.
What is it?
I have like for Open, and I'm talking like 3 to 5 years out. But I think this could be a $500 stock, something like $350 billion market cap company. So that's assuming that they truly are this like Uber of residential real estate.
And have you been, did you just buy it that one time and you're just riding it? Are you continuing to deploy fresh dollars?
No, well, I mean, I've had, new investors come into the fund since the good results have been happening. And so I have to put those to work. But in general, like I bought a big position at the beginning and of stock and some kind of long dated options, and I've just been sitting with it.
And you haven't sold?
No, I mean, like modestly, like here or there, or, because sometimes I'll buy on margin, and then you'll come to the end of the month and you got to sort of clean some stuff up. So there has been like some modest selling, or, you buy some shorter dated options and then they come to expiration and they get, sold themselves into cash or whatever. But no, I haven't sold. I think what I learned from the whole Carvana experience was you can never be some sort of mythical like trader and like, especially with stocks that are so volatile, and you're much better off if you just sort of like buy a big chunk at the beginning. And, obviously you can sell later if you get it wrong. And like if Kerry had stayed in control and the thing didn't look like it was going to turn around, I would have sold, but things have been playing out. So I've just been sitting on my hands with it. And,
So what about for BETR? It's $53 stock.
So the target there, like today, this should be a $600 stock because
where did you get that?
There's a company that just IPO'd called Figure. I don't know if you've seen it. So Mike Cagney, who's like was the founder of SoFi. He started a new company, left SoFi, started a new company called Figure, and it's doing HELOCs and loans and more crypto stuff than BETR. So it's, it's got the crypto pixie dust on it, but it trades at 19 times forward revenues. Okay.
That's too much.
I mean, remember Carvana is like at 5x, right? I'm hoping Opendoor one day gets to 5x. And so Figure's already out of the chute at 19x. BETR is trading at, it's kind of tough actually, because so few people cover BETR.
There's only one analyst.
There's no, I can't look up what the 2026 estimates are for BETR. But, with some sort of looking at what they did in the last quarter and projecting, it's like 1x forward revenues. So if you say they should be trading at Figure's multiple, they should be a $626 stock today.
But they shouldn't. That's too much for a mortgage originator.
Well,
19 times sales?
So Figure's overpriced or BETR's underpriced?
Don't you think?
Nobody knows, Amber. This is where like all the Canadians will agree with you, and like all the tech investors will say, "Why is this stock sitting here like trading at 1x forward revenue when it has a better AI system probably than Figure?" So
the truth might be somewhere in between, but it still looks good at 5x.
I would not be unhappy with a $400 stock price for BETR. But longer term, I mean, I think it should be a $12,000 stock in a few years.
Which? Say that again?
BETR should be a $12,000 stock.
$12,000?
By 2028, yes.
It's okay. It's $53.
Remember, this was like one of these SPAC deals.
I have a good memory. Like if I'm still doing this in 2028, you have to come on.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I know. You've got it. You wrote it down on your laptop there. So
I did, yes.
Bring it up for me.
Okay. Oh gosh, I'm like wrapping my head around that. I do want to get in your other two stocks that you brought to us, and you have been mentioning them, but IREN and Cipher, they're both Bitcoin miners. And they've both already run up. I don't know if you have an insane price target for those as well, but maybe like first talk about the thesis.
So they are thought of, or they were thought of as Bitcoin miners. I would say part of the reason why they've had such a big run up lately is that people see that really they're transforming into becoming providers of AI data centers. And so they're using the profits from their Bitcoin mining to fund the growth of building out like these mega AI data centers in places like Louisiana and West Texas. And so the world needs those data centers now because like all these, Microsofts and Metas and all the hyperscalers, every quarter they're announcing a $10 billion increase in their CapEx spending to build more data centers to keep up with the level of demand for all of us who are typing into ChatGPT or whatever. And so the whole project Stargate with Oracle and OpenAI, I mean, that's all about like trying to keep up with the demand for AI services. And there's just not enough energized data centers out there. So the thing about IREN and Cipher, and the reason why I got excited about them back in, I built the position in May and June. I think I built my IREN position at about $9 a share, and the Cipher position was in the threes when I built it, the high threes. And so today, I think IREN is in the 40s.
I'll tell you, yeah, 40s.
And Cipher is like $11 or something like that. It was as high as like 15 or 16 a few days ago, but it's pulled back. So both of them have 3 gigawatts of these data centers that are going to be energized or lit within the next 12 months. Basically.
Do they have any partnerships with anybody?
So they just, Cipher just announced a modest Google investment where they bought like 5% of the company. And then they announced some other deal with another player for some of that 3 gigawatts, but neither one has really announced their big deals yet. And so it's expected to come any day, between now and the end of the year. And a lot of people think that, Oracle will be heavily involved. Or Microsoft. So what's gotten attention recently is there's this company called Nebius that did a deal with Microsoft for 1 gigawatt of data centers in New Jersey. And for that, Microsoft agreed to pay Nebius $18 billion basically over the next several years, something like $3 billion a year for 6 years or so. And so people can do the math and say like, well, okay, if they're getting $3 billion a year for 1 gigawatt, then obviously Cipher and IREN should be getting 3x that for their 3 gigawatts. And you start to look at, the price of IREN and Cipher, and that's why the stocks have been ripping. But they can continue to rip. I mean, they're both, I guess they're very well positioned, much better positioned than a company like CoreWeave, which had a popular IPO in March. But the thing about Core, and they sort of position themselves as, hey, we're a part of this AI data center future, but they actually own no data centers. They partner with the people that actually buy the land, negotiate the power connections with the energy authorities, and build. They're
doing billions with OpenAI, but you're saying they're kind of a broker.
Essentially, like almost middleware, software.
Yeah.
And so IREN and Cipher are sort of coming up from underneath them to kind of potentially disrupt them.
And unlike the other stocks, they're not distressed, and they do have, I know you called Wall Street a bunch of idiots, but they have coverage. Like many analysts, like 12, 13 analysts are covering both of these stocks overwhelmingly with buys.
Right, but I guess the penny has dropped with them in that, just in the last month or two. This sort of re-rating has happened where people say, oh, I guess they're not just a Bitcoin miner, and the way we value Bitcoin miners is they go up and down with the price of Bitcoin, and even when Bitcoin is up, sometimes the miners are they're money losing, or they're doing excessive stock compensation, and so that we sell their stocks, and so they haven't, as a group, haven't done great over these last few years, even when Bitcoin has recovered. But now people are saying, oh, they're not Bitcoin miners. That's just a small subset of their business. They're really these AI businesses, and the way we need to be looking at them is like how many gigawatts do they actually have in the pipeline that are going to be turned on soon, that they could do deals with a Microsoft or a Meta or whoever. And so that's now the calculus that's taking place, and IREN and Cipher are just like perfectly positioned. I think ultimately, like in 5 years, they could be 100x opportunities from my original kind of entry point. So that would be like $900 for an IREN and $300 for a Cipher.
Okay.
Ultimately.
I think I have to let you go. We probably talked right up until the flight. Thank you so much for joining me, Eric. This has been so fascinating. I mean, we're all watching to see what's going to happen.